Cheers. Glug, glug, glug. There's nothing in it. I love this mug so much I haven't even used it. It's a true story. I mean, I got my coffee stuff over here in this ugly old thing, but I don't use my mug because I don't want to ruin it. I know that's sad, huh? Mm-hmm. Cheers for real. Pura vida, as I like to say, pure life in Spanish. Let's talk about politics and religion on Do Not Talk. I'm Charlie Simons, your host and MC here on the show that does talk to people that I'm not supposed to talk to. Media tells me they're not important. No, you don't need to talk to them. My own Republican Party tells me, yeah, you don't need to interview those people. Yeah, it's too early to talk to gubernatorial candidates, Charlie. We're going to decide who's going to run anyway. So why don't you stop telling people there are other choices? Nope. So that's what I do. And I talk about two things you're never supposed to talk about: politics and religion. You want one of these mugs that you'll put up on a shelf and you'll never use like me? You can get it at charliesimons.com, CharlieSimons.com. Get one of these hats too. Trump was right about everything. That's a big old trucker's hat right there. You can't miss that message. So you'll find it all and a whole lot more: shirts, hats, mugs, even car magnets that say "No Woke Zone" on it. And it's all at charliesimons.com. You'll be helping the show and supporting it that way. And this thing right here, that's QR code that'll take you to a great benefit for your health, for your life, for your skin, for your brain, for your mind, your hair, your joints. I'm talking about collagen. I'm talking about a special coffee drink that's got not just coffee in it, but cinnamon and cocoa and mushrooms and lion's mane and all other kinds of stuff. And you can see all the ingredients too. A lot of places don't put that on there. And it's all derived in the US of A and manufactured and made and packaged and everything USA. And I love that. You put your phone on that QR code, it takes you right to nuevalife.com/Charlie Simons. You use my name in that URL there, and you'll get yourself a nice little 10% discount on products. I hope you will look into it. I hope you will. nuevalife.com/Charlie Simons. There's all kinds of things on there that's including collagen and weight loss combination. I'm doing it. I love it. And I recommend you do as well. And again, you'll be helping out this show by using my name as a promo code. Then sharing the profits of what you buy at nuevalife.com/Charlie Simons. Okay. At the start, I told you about that I talked to people that the media didn't want me to talk to. Larry Celaschi is that guy. He's in a town in Pennsylvania, and it's called Charleroi. Cool name. Remember what happened in Springfield, Ohio, when Joe Biden, and it really started with Obama, with bringing in legal immigrants and just dumping them into a place, especially a place that's conservative, a place that's considered red, has a lot of Republicans. That's where Obama and Biden's been dumping these legal immigrants. They give them a special kind of visa thing. Supposedly, they're not citizens. No, but they can come in and do what? What do? They're going to take over all the jobs. And it's always small towns. Springfield, Ohio is a small town. And the town where Larry lives in Charleroi is a small town, also a conservative area in Pennsylvania. So how do you ruin it? How do you destroy it? How do you bring it down? How do you punish them for being on the right in an area that's surrounded by the left? You do what those clowns did. You dump a whole bunch of immigrants into that town and go, have fun. President Trump even brought it up one of his campaign speeches when he was running last year about what was happening in Springfield, where Haitian immigrants were actually eating geese that they would find and kill in the public parks. He mentioned the cats and dogs, and a lot of residents there claimed that their pets were missing, and they had proof, and they had photographic proof. Good luck finding that on the internet, by the way. It's all been scrubbed of them eating their pets. killing and eating their pets. And of course, they get all the freebies too. Don't forget about that. Just like anyone who came over the southern border, they got all kinds of freebies, things handed to them, an EBT card, a debit card with a couple of $1,000s on there from FEMA. FEMA's all of a sudden going, oh, well, we're broke. We don't have enough money to help the people in North Carolina. We don't have enough money to help the flood victims in Texas. Everywhere where it's a conservative area, suddenly the government didn't have any kind of money to help we, the people. It was insane. It was so ugly. I hope you never forget what we went through with 4 years of Biden. I hope it doesn't fade into the mirror. Okay, I'm glad that my nightmare is over, because trust me, if we forget about it, that nightmare can come back. It could happen again. I hate this. I hate what they've done to us. I know President Trump is doing all he can to try and fix it and correct it and get it back and get these people out. I know, but come on. Look what's going on all over the world, taking away his attention from concentrating on us. I don't think it's by accident. The left is craving World War III. Why would they do that, Charlie? It's called mass depopulation. It's part of their 16-year plan. Look up the 16-year plan. That was an Obama and Clinton thing. 16-year plan. Part of that plan was World War III. Again, don't look it up on Google, though. You won't find anything truthful there. Go to Brave. Brave.com is a great search engine. I like it. So is Swiss Cows, actually. SwissCows.com, another good search engine. They're out of Switzerland. But don't rely on Google. Don't rely on YouTube. Don't rely on Facebook. Don't rely on Meta. Don't rely on Instagram. You're not going to find truth there. Welcome to the world of alternative media, and I hope you will like, subscribe, and share. In fact, hit that like button right now, would you please? You're helping with the algorithms with that. If you comment, even just like, hi, Charlie, something like that, whatever. Great show, awful show. I wish you were never born, whatever it is. Go ahead and make a comment, and that helps as well. And that's how we're growing and sharing these shows. If you share these shows, that really makes a huge difference at rumble.com/do-not-talk. That's rumble.com/do-not-talk. Rumble, my conservative and freedom-loving friends, is your place to go to now. Many in the podcasting world have gone over to Rumble now because they realize they're not being censored. They're not being shut down. They're not being deleted. Thank God for Rumble. I want you to meet Larry Celaschi. He's going through some stuff in little old Charleroi, Pennsylvania. Where? Never heard of it. You're about to on Do Not Talk. You ready? Hit it. What's up, buddy boy?
Good afternoon there, Charlie. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for being had. That's my favorite joke. Let me see your hat. Let me see your hat. Trump 2020. Okay, you know what? That does it. I'm going to have to put my hat back on. You need to get one of these hats, Larry.
I got 24 of them.
Charlie,
I got 24 hanging everywhere around here.
Do you? Well, you need this one. Do you have this one?
I do not have that one. I do not have that.
See? All right, you need it, buddy. Where is Charleroi?
Charleroi, Pennsylvania is we're about 29 miles south of the city of Pittsburgh. We had a population, according to the last U.S. Census, of 4,134, and that was prior to the influx of immigration that got dumped into our town.
Yeah, see, everybody heard about Springfield, Ohio. Nobody heard about what happened to you. But was this about the same time?
Pretty much. Honestly, pretty much. Their story broke before ours did. And naturally, ours broke when President Trump made Charleroi a household name back at an event that he was holding in 2024 in Arizona. And he mentioned the name Charleroi. What a beautiful name. He called our town. He said, but with what took place, it's not so beautiful now, is it? That's
No. Are
what
you
he
near
asked.
Amish country?
We are. There is a section of Amish country up in Farmington, Pennsylvania. Naturally, when you get out towards probably the center part of the state, you're going to hit a lot more Amish.
I'll tell you what, the Amish have got it right.
Yeah, they do. Yes, they do.
They've been right all along. Just separate yourself from the world and grow your own food and divorce yourself from this system. And they didn't have the COVID illnesses. They didn't have any of those kind of problems. They've been inspirational to me. Actually, I love the Amish. I've never lived there or anywhere near there. I don't even think I've met anybody who's Amish. I've met some Mennonites, but not the Amish. And they stick to themselves, don't they? They definitely stay to themselves.
Yes, they do. I mean, as close as I probably get to them, I do shop at their some of their stores, and they get
I have
some
a
great
friend who lives in
products.
Missouri. He swears by it. He goes, Charlie, you want the freshest beef? You want, and it's not no antibiotics, no hormones in it. I shop at the Amish meat store. I went, oh wow, cool. That
Yeah,
sounds good to
absolutely.
me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about what happened to y'all. Is it still going on, or has it been corrected?
No, it has not been corrected. We are sitting by in suspended animation with the TPS status being revoked, and then
What is
having
that? What is
deadlines.
that? TPS
The
being revoked.
temporary protection status that was revoked for the immigrants. Again,
That's what they had in Springfield too, and they were from Haiti. Where were all of your immigrants from?
primarily most of them from Haiti as well, the Haitian immigration community. Um, that TPS status was supposed to be enforced August the 3rd, and then coming back again, probably more of a warning on August the 3rd, and then the rule enforcement was supposed to come September the 3rd. That got delayed again to where it went to, I believe, November. That got delayed again with a ruling from a federal judge in New Jersey that they won that to be able to push it back to February the 3rd, claiming that the immigrants needed more time for the deportation process to take full effect. So we're sitting. It is a waiting game. As we were blindsided from the beginning, we're still blindsided of what the future of our town is going to look like. Is it going
It's
to?
insane. It's insane what Biden did. It is absolutely insane. And they all chose little towns like yours and conservative areas that's surrounded by a lot of left. And Pennsylvania is very, very, for the most part, a blue state, isn't it now? And I think a lot of that's because of the unions, because they blindly follow anything the party tells them to do, unfortunately. And the unions rather, is what I meant to say. And the unions know where the freebies keep coming. And so that's why they push everything on the left and support nothing but left-wing candidates, and including contributing vast amounts of money to their campaigns, to where anyone on the right can never win, regardless of what the people want. Have you experienced that same thing in Charleroi?
We have, and there has been a narrowing of the gap. You said that Pennsylvania being a blue state, we're doing everything we can. I'm a state committeeman for Pennsylvania, as well as being a councilman in Charleroi, and we are really pushing hard, like I said, to close that gap of voter registration from Democrat to Republican, and we have done a pretty good job of that with a lot of initiatives throughout the state. Turning Point Action has done a great job going out there and doing their due diligence to make people aware to get out and register to vote. But we got to be a little bit worried because the outcome of this past election did not fare very well throughout the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, trickling on down to Charleroi, Pennsylvania, where we thought we really could have made some strides with defeating the judge retention uh, with the big no vote and getting a lot of these Democrats who sit in the Supreme Court, Superior Courts, Common Pleas Courts, and getting them pretty much sent packing to where we could get some more conservative Republican judges in there. But it did. I mean, all the way down to Charleroi, Pennsylvania, we were not successful. I won re-election. Another Republican councilman won re-election, and we had a team of 5 people with a mayor candidate and 4 Republican candidates, thinking that we had a shot to get back majority control in our town. That did not happen. The people claimed they wanted new voices, new blood. We did have 3 new people on our ticket, and not one of them made it past the finish line. They the same old people that they were complaining about got elected, and I happen to be one of them. I'm one of the old people. This will be my 3rd term on borough council, and I did not want to run. I didn't. I wanted new people to step up, but we could not find anybody to step up to the plate. So that was very disheartening, because I think it could have changed some dynamics in our town by having a majority who sees the vision as we all do of what happened to our town. Are we ever going to get our town back? Boy, I tell you, it's going to be awfully hard, but we don't know what direction Charleroi is going, because this TPS status has not been very clear. We've had no communication because of what Joe Biden and his administration did to this town.
It's awful. I know, and we'll get into this, the people that you've reached out to on a federal level asking for help. But my question is, like California, we got unfortunately, the last couple of decades, we've got a very bad history of putting real pigs into positions of tremendous power. We, as in Californians, I'm not one of them, but I am a Californian, so I have to say we. With Governor Brown, before Governor Hairdo, as I call Gavin Newsom, Governor Brown made it legal for illegals to get driver's licenses. And then all of a sudden, it made no sense to me. Nobody talked about it. Nobody's like, well, why are we doing this? How come this is happening? Why are you deciding this? Why didn't you take it to a vote? No, they're not interested in that. They have a supermajority. They don't have to. So it was suddenly legal for illegals to get driver's licenses. And then the other shoe dropped. Oh, we're doing this thing called the motor voter law. You have a driver's license. You're registered to vote. No questions asked. We can't even ask you for your ID. And that did it. We've been screwed ever since. We don't seem to win much of anything. Except for the counties, and areas and districts that are red, but we're few and far between anymore in California. Actually, we're more prevalent, as you saw in the 2024 election. California turned red, but it didn't matter. There's so much cheating. There's so much lying. There's so much swindling going on. Election fraud is rampant. We invented ways to cheat in elections that other states are stealing from us. And we're seeing the effects of it in Illinois and Pennsylvania, and so on, with the cheating in the elections. Did you see any of that in Pennsylvania? Do you think? Are illegals able to get driver's licenses, and can they vote?
Well, they're not supposed to, but
not supposed to. No,
they're not supposed to. And there was some instances that were brought up with the last election just here in our community to where. It can't be verified, but boy, the clouds of deception sure needs to be questioned. That there were some instances at specific precincts that needs to have some questions answered. I will tell you this, and I don't want to get off the point in hand, which would be Charleroi, Pennsylvania, but just yesterday. Representative Warner, Fayette County, Pennsylvania, issued the following statement in response to an Uzbeki national illegal immigrant with ties to terrorism. He obtained a Pennsylvania commercial driver's license, CDL, with a real ID designation. Now, you got to wonder, how did that happen? I've been pretty vocal here as a councilman in the borough of Charleroi and a former 40-year background as an insurance broker, how our Pennsylvania Insurance Department has allowed, this is not the first time with just yesterday's statement, and that made national news, but there has been numerous cases in Charleroi Borough where immigrants have a driver's license. They're going to the state of Ohio to purchase vehicles, getting them financed, getting their insurance in the state of Ohio, coming back to the state of Pennsylvania, and then canceling their Ohio insurance. Well, obviously, there's a different set of rules with the insurance departments of Ohio and the state of Pennsylvania. You cancel your insurance in the state of Pennsylvania.
They may not have been able to get insured, but in Ohio they can. And now you've set precedent. Well, I had insurance here, so okay, right. We'll give you a policy here in Pennsylvania. Yeah, that's smart on their part. I wonder who told them to do that. One of my bank attorneys told them to do that.
There was some sort of a pattern, and they all followed the same pattern. Like I said, coming back and canceling your insurance in the state of Pennsylvania, leaving you uninsured, or the ones that were able to obtain insurance are carrying minimum limits of liability. And either way, uninsured, minimum limits of liability, you're involved in an immigrant-related auto accident, it is a headache and a nightmare for the person that they have impacted.
Yeah, and good luck collecting, even if you do get collecting. You're right. That in California, it's illegal to not have insurance. I guess it's not the same in Pennsylvania. You can be jailed for that and definitely fined.
That is correct. Yeah, 30 days without insurance. Yeah, if you can't produce evidence of insurance, really upon immediate cancellation, and they give you 30 days, then should be all hell pays loose. But it seems like the insurance department in the state of Pennsylvania has been a bit laxed. And I think not only the people of Charleroi, but across the state of Pennsylvania.
Well, the insurance companies can enforce the law. It's not their spot. It's not their place to enforce the law. That's up to your local officials.
Well, I think your local officials on a statewide level really need to pound the bricks a little harder and demand answers. They have been very laxed as well, too. I've spoken to several of them, not getting any answers back. But, just for instance, just in the borough of Charleroi, for the number of auto accidents, immigrant-related auto accidents that have occurred here with minimum limits of liability or uninsured, I think the Pennsylvania Insurance Department, and I've reached out to them as well, too, should have came here along with representatives from Pennsylvania Department of Transportation, and had a little bit of a seminar to where question and answers could have been conducted, because I think a lot of good, intelligent questions and feedback could have came from that. To where now you're having your representatives on the Senate and state representative level. Oh, they're all jumping in on this now because of what took place yesterday with this illegal immigrant, with ties to terrorism. I think if you dig a little bit further, I think there's a lot of ties that are not swallowed very well. And I think the people of Charleroi and Pennsylvania, we're fed up with it.
You said Charleroi has a population of about 4,000. How many illegals? Well, sorry, technically legal immigrants were dumped into Charleroi area.
How many immigrants?
I mean, in Springfield, it was 1,000.
Yeah, we were to the tune of anywhere between 2,000 and 3,000 on an any day level. And that, again, we were always a small town of 4,000 in population. And we're only this is you sit in your chair and buckle up. We are a town that's not even a mile long. We're about 0.9 miles when you go from one red light of our community to the other. Now we're 16.2 miles in circumference, but to go through our downtown area, we're not even a mile long.
You don't have the infrastructure for that kind. You just almost doubled your population. I was wrong when I said 1,000 in Springfield. I forgot it. Like almost doubled their population too. There's just no way. You don't have the infrastructure for it. Where are you going to house them? Where were they housed? Were they just dumped off? Were they brought in by bus, by plane? How were they brought in?
No, I mean, the question is, how did Charleroi benefit from all this? Did it change our tax revenue to we're seeing a positive from that? Absolutely not. You know, is it helping? We have a 12-man police force. And with that 12-man police force, we didn't get any help from the federal government when Joe Biden did this to us to say, here you go, here's funding for an additional X number of police officers now that we've dumped 2,000 to 3,000 more individuals, immigrants into our community. You know, was there any help for the ambulance service that is sitting with $250,000 of uncollected debt when they're getting ambulance calls to immigrant-related, most of them, they're all renting to those residents. Is it helping the ambulance company? No, they can't collect that uncollected debt. What about the local hospital, where I'm hearing tunes of $1 million a month in uncollected debt because of the immigrants? So that is
here
disturbing.
In California, the immigrants know the illegal aliens is what I call them, because that's what they are. They know that they can't get the free health care like Medi-Cal as we have here in California. That's or the what's the California version of Obamacare? I can't even remember what it's called, because it doesn't matter, because it's worthless and way too expensive. But unlike what Obama promised us, that was a lie. But they know that legally the hospitals cannot turn you away in the emergency rooms. So they'll show up if they have a common head cold. You go into emergency rooms now in California, and they're just packed with people who are there illegally, and they get signed up. When they go there and they don't have the money to pay, they automatically get signed up for Medi-Cal, which is basically California's welfare system for medical insurance coverage for we po folk, and it is bankrupt the system. But every emergency room is full like that. Is that same in Pennsylvania? Do they have to take them in? Is that the law?
That is correct. Yes. Okay. Yeah, like I said, the strain that it has put on our first responding units, even our fire department, this nightmare was not delivered properly. Just not to Charleroi, but Springfield, Ohio.
Biden did was delivered properly. They just did it. I hate it. How did they bring them in, by the way? Was it all in one fell swoop, or was it over a period of a few months? Did they bust them in? How did they get them in there?
It was over a period of the last few years, just what's frustrating about it is how they got here put everybody at a disadvantage. And you don't understand their language. They don't understand our language. And that filters down to our first responding units going out there. We didn't get any funding for an interpreter to be able to come in to be full time. That's what I said. You could have increased the number of police officers and then given us 1 or 2 full-time interpreters to help with the transition. But that didn't happen. Look, this could be debated within our community, because this has divided our community severely. We've had a lot of long-time Charleroi residents move and sell their homes because of what took place, and this new makeover facial that Charleroi received that nobody asked for. But it's caused a lot of divide to where, what good has it done for the borough of Charleroi?
Nothing.
Sure,
No
there's
good.
going to be debates from the left and the liberal left and the Republicans with good common sense. And it's just sometimes you just get tired of fighting this fight, but we have to stay the fight, because if we don't stay this fight, just what we saw with the last election, it did not turn out well. The Democrats, they came out to vote. Well, they sure as hell came out to vote when Donald Trump was running for president of the United States in the masses, and then they became laxed, and we saw the outcome of that. If we do not get Republicans to come out to vote in this next midterm election, we got a gubernatorial election, and then the midterm elections for the federal government. It's good, and I've heard you in some of your podcasts here speak loudly about that. And then JJ, gentlemen, something's not done about this. It's over. It's done.
Yeah.
We don't. Is it already over and done for the borough of Charleroi because of the disaster that occurred here? Possibly, but it will be done if we don't secure those midterm elections.
Yeah. I don't know about Pennsylvania, but in California, we suck at showing up for midterms and primary elections. And the elections are won at the primary, but we don't even show up. It's in the teens. It's pathetic. The right, the conservatives, the Republicans, whatever party affiliation, we just don't show up if we're conservative in any way for these primary elections. And we have what's called a jungle primary here, which was a very stupid idea. Brought on us by Republicans, by the way, under Arnold Schwarzenegger. It was a stupid idea. It may have worked for them at the time, but it has destroyed this state since then, because the two top vote getters are the ones who go to the final elections in November, regardless of party affiliation. So we get two Democrats going for the same seat all the time. And we don't even show up. We have this attitude of, well, my vote doesn't count. Why even try? Screw you if you say that. I'm sorry for being so blunt, but you're part of the problem. You're not even registered to vote. You're definitely part of the problem. Registeredtovote.ca.gov. Please get registered. You might not want to after me calling you out like that, but I don't care. Please do what's right. Registeredtovote.ca.gov. I'm sick of it. I don't want to leave my state. Larry, I don't want to leave my state. I love my state. This is a cool state. This is a great place to live. I've been here all my life. I don't want to leave it. But all my friends who have left, they're like, Charlie, you got to get out. It's not going to get better. I'm like, I know, man. I keep thinking this time it'll work. This time we'll get smart. This time we'll do what's right. And I keep getting disappointed. But we got one more here in California. We got our governor's election next year, 2026, and we desperately need a Republican governor. But even still, they'll be surrounded by people who hate them, want to shut them down, want to make sure they don't get anything done. So we need more than just a Republican governor. But if I can't even get the conservatives to show up to vote in the primary election in the next summer to decide who's going to the main election in November, I don't know, buddy. I'm not going to Charleroi. I know that.
Well, I hear your passion of wanting to stay where you're at in your hometown. I feel the same way about Charleroi. And boy, just the narrative is we got to get out of here. From everybody's totally disgusted. They don't want to be here. Charleroi's received such a poor black eye because of all this. And I know one of my campaign issues that I wanted to bring to the forefront is, naturally you get reelected, which I did. We need a professional communications and marketing firm to hire to come in to help us turn the corner, if we can turn the corner, because we're not qualified to do that. Anybody sitting on council, we need some professional help.
That's another thing we as conservatives do, Larry. We ignore the media because we don't trust it. We don't like it. We're afraid they're gonna call us names and say bad things about us. And I keep trying to tell you, all of you, I've been in the media my entire adult life. It has tremendous power, even if you think mainstream media is dead, and it is for the most part, but it still has the eyes and the minds of everyone on the left. And unfortunately, many of our own fellow conservatives are still relying on that for information. It has tremendous power. You're absolutely right. We need to embrace the media and utilize it, use it. And even if they do say bad things about us, so what? There might be that one reader, that one viewer, that one listener who goes, hey, I like what they're doing. I want to know more, and they'll follow through. We can't keep ignoring the media like we've done, and they do we do on the right. We just ignore them. That's at our detriment.
Charlie, we've lost in the past 20 months, we've lost 25 businesses and over 750 jobs. We lost our two largest employers in a small community. That's pretty devastating. Now, to make it even more a punch in the gut, the employer did employ a majority of the immigrants. They are closing their doors in one of their plants. They own two plants. None of the plants are located in the borough of Charleroi. They're neighboring communities 2 miles away. We're all bedroom communities. But one's in Spears, Pennsylvania. Another one's in Fallowfield Township. And you're talking, they were employing 800 immigrants at one point in time. Closing the plant in Fallowfield Township, the number of immigrants that are going to lose their jobs there, what's going to happen to them? The TPS status is not until doesn't come back up until February. What is going to happen to them? Where are they going to find work? Because we're a small community. There's not employers that are employing.
That's why I wanted to know, where did they put all these people they dumped off in your place?
Well, where they put them in the borough of Charleroi. That's where the borough of Charleroi comes into play, where there's, it was a lot of previously home ownership that got turned into landlord-tenant situations. And so what was a good community used to be probably 65%, 70% home ownership has reverted itself to where it's now sitting probably 35 to 40% home ownership,
$20
65% landlord tenant.
I'm sorry for interrupting, but $20 says that BlackRock and other firms like that came in and bought up huge swaths of homes.
Right. Another thing that
the property values crashed with this influx of all these immigrants and no place to put them. All your folks trying to get out quickly. They probably took a lot less than what the home was originally worth. And these big firms like BlackRock, State Street, Vanguard, they're wicked, they're evil, and they came in and they bought up huge, just picked them up everywhere and turned them immediately into rentals and Section 8 housing. Because anybody who's ever owned any rental properties, they know it might not be ideal, but you turn your home or your place or your condo into Section 8, you're going to be guaranteed a monthly income regardless of what happens to the place. People don't care about it. It comes in, it winds up getting trashed. Entire neighborhoods get trashed, but they don't care. They get their monthly income from the federal government, from us, through this Section 8 housing. That's what I'll bet you that's what's happened there in Charleroi.
Yeah, it's rather disturbing. There's another thing that I just want to point out to you, and which was pointed out to me numerous times. The immigrant community from the Haitian community that resides in the borough of Charleroi, they're men of military age. The story was told to us that their country was fighting the battle, rape, plunder, and pillage in gangs, and that they wanted to come and make a better life. Try for a better life. And everybody has a right to do that. You come in here legally, I'm all for you. Okay, we're not stereotyping. But the sheer fact that why would a young man leave your family, mother, father, wife, daughters, sons, why would you leave them and not protect them? And you leave your country to come on over here. I know one thing. I sure as hell wouldn't be leaving Charleroi, Pennsylvania to go to another country to work there and leave my family behind to be preyed upon. It just makes no sense. But they're men of military age that are all here.
Right.
Just brings into a lot of questions.
Here in California, where it's a sanctuary state. So stupid. Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, the proliferation of people coming across the border started off as they were selling it to us as, oh, these are just families escaping a bad situation, looking for a better life. Oh, look at all these children. Well, many of those children were being trafficked over. Those were not even their parents that they were coming across the border with. They to the tune of 500,000 kids coming up missing all of a sudden once they got over the border, and and then we saw a shift. We saw a shift, not just from Central and South America, but all over the world. China was one of them. A lot of Chinese immigrants, and they were all military-aged males. And I've shown video on this show with my friend Mike Grant, who went down to the border. Jonathan Townsend Alexander's another one. Scotty Sachs, Kim Yater, all these people. Oreo Express. Look up Josh Fulfer, Fulfur. Josh Fulfer, Oreo Express. He was right there on the border chronicling who's coming across. They're wearing military garb. They're coming across in the middle of the night, blacked out, wearing military garb, including military backpacks, the whole deal. What the was that?
That's very disturbing.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not seeing the military attire here, but just the sheer fact that men of military age, and it just brings up a lot of questions. We all want what's best for Charleroi. Everybody wants what's best for their own community. I just think that the way that this has unfolded itself and laid itself in the laps of everybody here in the borough of Charleroi is not something that we asked for, and not something we ever got answers for. And will we ever? I think it's a little too late for that. Maybe if somebody can come up and give us some funding to help turn the tide here of how we're supposed to communicate. We're the punching bag. Charleroi is a punching bag on social media, and it's very
so Springfield, Ohio, same thing.
It breaks your heart sometime.
How dare you? You're all racist. You just don't want them there because they're not white. That kind of crap.
Yeah, we've heard a lot of that as well too.
I'm sure you have. I know you have.
Yes.
Same thing with Springfield. You've reached out to the federal government. You've written some real higher ups since President Trump took office. Tell us who they've been and what you've heard. Any response? Any help coming?
Yeah, back on July 2nd, I sent out individual letters and also followed it up with the same email. And I sent these all certified registered mail.
Good.
Naturally to the office of the president, and then to the Homeland Security Director, Kristi Noem, Tom Homan's office. I sent it to Pam Bondi's office as well, too, as well as naturally our federal level Senator Dave McCormick, as well as our local Congressman Guy Rethenstaller, and naturally, I speak to the representatives, Senator McCormick and Senator and Congressman Rethenstaller and their staffs, pretty much on a regular basis. But they're relying on the people with the title, Director of Homeland Security, the President of the United States, etc. But when I sent these letters out on July 2nd, I was pretty frustrated. I really just pretty much the urgency of the TPS status, and we were never communicated when they were dumped off. I just asked, could we get some communication and some clarity? What's going to happen here with the borough of Charleroi? How are we supposed to move forward with the immigrants, without the immigrants? It's not a lot to ask. And then asking for some funding again, as we've always been asking for from day one. Help us out. And I never heard anything back. The first TPS deadline came and gone of August the 3rd, got then into September. Never heard anything up until last night. I checked my borough email, and there was an email in there from Kristi Noem, Homeland Security Director. I'm thinking, well, how about that? Look, I used to work for a U.S. congressman, and back in my younger days. And things haven't changed from then to now. It's a snail trail when you're dealing with the federal government.
Let me guess what it was from Kristi Noem. It was a form letter.
Yes, it was pretty much a form letter. I mean, they did have to cover some of my points, but it and no discredit to her, I applaud her for her and someone of her staff taking the time to at least deliver me something. Okay. I take that as a win. But it's not the answer that I wanted. We've got to sit and wait until February the 3rd. And I was told that we got to patiently wait by our local U.S. congressman.
And February 3rd is the temporary protection status lapses.
That's correct. That's correct. That's when I guess the judge from the federal judge from New Jersey, his order expires, and so no more time left on the clock.
Probably a Biden-appointed federal judge, right?
Oh, I would bet my life on that one. Yeah. But we're gonna sit back and wait patiently. We've done so this far. I just hope we get the news that what we want to hear, and that's moving forward. And then they're going to enact this TPS status once and for all, and Charleroi can get back to normal.
Have you seen a tremendous uptick in crime? Did you have pets missing, animals missing from parks, like they reported in Springfield, Ohio? Have you experienced that same thing?
No.
Okay.
Outside of within our borough, maybe the 911 calls, some domestic issues, but there was a couple serious calls. There was one not too long ago where there was a situation, an immigrant either got pushed, shoved, tackled, whatever we did, that hasn't been clarified, out a second story window, and died. We heard that it was possible knife wound. We heard it was a gunshot. But that has not been clarified. That's in the Washington County District Attorney's Office, and they have not communicated.
Was the crime perpetrated by one of their own or one of your citizens?
No, it was all a room full of immigrants, and so that's yet to be determined. Like I said, the auto accidents, that's another situation.
Yeah, I understand.
Where it seems like it's an everyday occurrence.
Just been through the roof, yeah.
But some domestic issues, etc. I mean, look, that can happen to anybody, and our police, as they always do, they respond, and they do an outstanding job, as well as our fire department gets called out as well too. But it's the number of calls now because of the increase in population. The number of calls has escalated, which really runs our small volunteer fire department runs them thin. I've made my way to, when I hear the 911 calls on the radio, when I hear it's an auto accident, I've gone out there several times because I want to take snapshots, and I've got a lot of snapshots of on scene, the accident that occurs and the multi-million dollars worth of equipment that has to respond. It's frustrating, Charlie.
Somebody has to pay for those calls. Somebody has to pay for all that response. Guess who?
The taxpayers in the borough of Charleroi. Yes.
That's right. You, local. This is insane. This is not sustainable. The left, it's been my experience, are very vindictive little children, and you don't vote the way they do. Our candidates say, I want to represent everybody, not the left. Left goes, yeah, I'm going to represent the people who support me, but the rest of you, screw you. I'm going to do everything I can to make it as miserable as possible for you, so next time you'll think twice. That seems to be the attitude.
That's the Democrat playbook. Promise everything, deliver nothing, and blame someone else.
Right. All right. How can we help? How can we follow what's going on? How can we be involved with what's going on there in Charleroi, Pennsylvania, Larry?
Well, I mean, your show, thank you. Credit to yourself for continuing the good fight and getting the truth out there. I certainly appreciated spending some time with you. How can you help the borough of Charleroi? Look, you meet a lot of people. You talk to a lot of people. I would just ask that, our situation. Charleroi has become a town that is not what it used to be. and I don't think anybody is what it used to be. But we want to try to get our identity back. We need an influx of funding to come in to help us. We certainly need some PR to say, once we can get a hold of Charleroi and get it back on ground again to where we can be proud of promoting ourselves. I think, boy, using your contacts, if you know anybody that would like to come and take a visit down here to Charleroi, I'd personally escort them around, and I'm certain several other people in our community would be glad to do that as well too.
I would love to do that. I don't know what good it would do, and plus, we're just poor little podcasters for the most part. We can't afford to just buy a ticket, fly across the United States of America to walk around the town of Charleroi and go, yeah, this sucks. Sorry, I can't help you. We just don't have that. The big mainstream media is going to ignore you and continue to ignore you. Last thing they want is people realizing the catastrophe of the Biden presidency that unfortunately, allegedly, the majority of we Americans put into the highest office in the land. What a train wreck he was. What a nightmare. I'm so glad it's over. But again, never forget what he did, because if we do forget, it will happen again. If we don't stay diligent, we don't get involved. If we go, it's not my problem. Oh, well, it's out there in Pennsylvania. What do I care? I can't help them. Come on, get smart. They had their population doubled within just a few months. What do you think is going to happen to a town like that? How dare you conservatives do that? Well, we'll show you. That was the attitude, because all these places where these immigrants have been dumped off have all been conservative areas in blue states. So go ahead.
You said, how could we help? You're just a little podcast. You already did help, Charlie. Everything begins with a voice, and your voice. If you know of any investors, anybody, we're sitting with an empty plant down here when we lost our largest employer. Somebody wants to come down and take a look, to see what we have to offer and what the possibilities could be. Everything begins with a voice, and you've exercised yours to help us.
I hope so, my friend. Thank you for the time, and may God bless you and keep you. Thank you, buddy. Stay safe.
Merry Christmas. Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you.
Hey, right back at you, my friend. Right back at you. Oh, and speaking of a great Christmas gift, go to my website and get somebody you love one of these or one of these.
You got it.
All right, buddy. I'll talk to you later. CharlieSimons.com is where you've been admiring this hat, have you? Oh, Charlie, where can I get one of those? CharlieSimons.com. CharlieSimons.com. CharlesSimons.com. May God bless you and keep you. May God bless America. But most importantly, America bless God.